In this tutorial we're going to look at changing the effects of our background. At the moment we've got a stage color that's just white. If I wanted to, I can actually go up to modify document and I can actually change that to a different color, and I might actually pick a sky blue and apply that, and then it becomes that color. And as our boat moves across, you notice that we can see that sky color all the way. But what I really want to do, and I'll change my background back to white, is I want to give it more of a gradient feel. So to do that, I'm actually going to put in a new layer. Now when I add a new layer, it'll always appear above the layer that's selected. So because boat's selected, if I add a new layer, it will appear in there. But I'm going to select the background water, select that. You notice the layer's on top of the background water. I'm going to click and drag that to the bottom, and I'm going to rename this as sky. Now the sky is going to be right at the back of our object. So I'm just going to lock everything down. I'm going to select the first keyframe, and I'm going to pencil draw everything, including the layer at which I'm working on. Because I'm going to use a fill effect, I'm going to turn back to the rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a box on the stage. Now because the water covers the bottom part, you may not need to go down there, but I'm just going to fill the whole stage with a box. Now the reason why it's a line drawing tool, because I want to keep it relatively the same size as my stage, because if I make it bigger than my stage, I might actually lose the edge for my animation and I forget where they should be coming on at what particular time. So it's a good idea to make sure you draw sometimes with a box as a hollow, so it's just a pencil outline. Now when I turn the colour back in, you notice I've actually got a fill colour of blue. But I'm not too happy with that. I actually want to change the sky, and I want to have a bit of a gradient fill. So to do that, I'm going to go up and change my gradient fill from solid to something like a linear. A linear is a line. So if I use my fill bucket now and fill this shape, oh sorry, wrong one, fill the shape, you notice it's a linear fill. It goes from black through to white. If I click and drag, I can actually change which way the fill works. So by clicking and dragging, I can change it. By doing a short line, it's more solid in the middle. If I do a long line, it's more of a progressive gradient. So we're going to have a look at doing that, but I actually need colours that are more sky orientated. To do that, I click on the little colour tool here. So I'll double click that, and I can come in and I can pick a colour. So this is going to be my darker colour, so I'm going to pick a bit of a sky colour. But even better, I might actually come into my fill colours here. I probably should have picked the blue first, so we'll head back, not make it bigger. No, we'll just select black at the moment. Here we go. Now we're getting a colour. So we can pick our darker colour and go OK. So now I've got that to a white. So if I fill now, you sort of get that sky going down to white. I think that very first one I had was probably the best one. So that's too harsh, so we come straight down. Notice it's a nice bright blue going down to a softer blue at the water edge. So I'm happy with that, and I'm going to keep it that way. You can actually go from one dark blue to a lighter blue if you wanted to by changing the colour of this one, but I'm happy to stick with the white because you're not going to see the white area underneath. So when I turn all my colours back on, this is now my sky. So in my animation, it comes through and you can see there's a nice gradient to give it that nice 3D sort of effect. So it's an easy way of actually changing your fills. If I wanted to, just for the sake of the exercise, I can actually change and add more nibs. As you notice, my crosshair now has a plus. I can add another colour to that. If I wanted to, I could double click that and change it to pink, and it'll actually fill from one colour to another colour. So if I grab my box tool now and just draw a box for a sample, you can see I have three colours. I can actually alter the intensity. I can move the pink down towards the white, so I've got more blue. So if I'll just grab my fill bucket so I can fill straight away. If I shift that across, you notice that this is changing now. If I wanted to, I could select a yellow. So you can have any sort of colours you want. I can move those up and change the intensity of the colours. If I wanted to, I can even add more colours. So there's no limit to the amount of colours that you can have. So you can get all sorts of effects by using what's called the linear fill effect. And once again, the opacity also works here with the alpha, and you can actually transform individual ones to make just the pink and the green transparent, but yet the yellow and the blue are solid colours. So there's all sorts of effects you can have to help you improve your objects. So I'm just going to delete that off the stage. So linear effects are really cool to use. If you want to get rid of them, you just click and drag them off. So you click on the handle and just remove it from the stage back to 2. So that's something useful that you can do to help improve your presentation. In the next animation, we're going to actually look at putting a sun in and seeing if we can actually get that to animate across the sky to look like the sun's moving